Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to episode 46 on a letter to my 4-year-old inner child. Dearest child, forgive me for forgetting all about you all these years. In recent years, I have focused extensively on healing my past wounds and trauma, mostly centering on my inner child experiences during primary school between the ages of 7 to 12. It took me a lot of courage to recall the vulnerable parts of me that felt deeply wounded during these years. Back then, even though I was surrounded by people, I often felt a deep sense of void and loneliness. It felt as if I was all alone on earth. It felt as if nobody really cared whether I was alive or dead, so long as I don't implicate others by being a huge source of embarrassment that I was. For many years, I often struggled to make sense of my very existence. Why am I born on this earth? What am I supposed to do here? Why am I still alive? As I deepened my reflections, it dawned upon me that every experience, be it good or bad, was a precious learning opportunity for my soul. Initially, it felt unbearable and even repulsive to associate my bad experiences as learning opportunity for my soul. What a joke! Why must it be me? Why must I suffer in order to learn and grow? What is there to learn and grow other than to recall the feelings of sadness, fear, anger, injustice, betrayal, and the like? As I spent time recalling these experiences and my associated feelings, I realized that it is less of the experiences and more of the feelings that haunt me all these years. It felt as if the show is already over. Everybody has moved on. Yet a part of me still clings on tightly to the past, refusing to let it go. In fact, my inner children were terrified of any attempts to let go of these past experiences, lest history repeats itself. Yet, we also realized that it serves us no good to cling on to these past experiences. Each time we perceive a similar situation to have a reason, all these suppressed feelings would appear from nowhere, all ready to overwhelm us and hurt us once more. It felt as if we were at the mercy of our own uncontrollable emotions. In recent months, I have made much progress working with my inner children between the ages of 7 to 12. We have finally forgiven the key characters that hurt us deeply in those years. It no longer mattered to us that most don't really care how much we suffered under them, or even remained unrepentant to date. For the decision to forgive is to benefit myself and my inner children. None of us deserve to suffer endlessly at the mercy of these past experiences and our uncontrollable emotions. We are finally ready to move on and embark on new experiences together. But dear one, forgive me for forgetting all about you. I didn't realize that you too, at such a young, tender age, was deeply hurt and crying alone in the dark, abandoned basement of my heart. I'm sorry to have neglected you in my healing journey. Last week, I was guided to reconnect with you during meditation. Initially, I was a little skeptical, as I thought I was doing pretty well as a 4-year-old child. What's there to reconnect, seriously? Weren't we probably happy and joyful? But as I set my intention to connect with you and slowly counted my way down to a deep meditative state, I started sobbing to myself. A huge wave of sadness just swept over me from nowhere. I couldn't stop crying, even before I reached you. When I finally saw you in my mind's eye, you were there, sitting all alone and crying in the dark, cold, dirty, and neglected basement of my heart. I walked up to you, held on to your little hands, and gave you a hug. It felt so liberating as we cried together in the dark. We are finally reunited. No one can separate us from each other from now on. No one is allowed to mess with you from now on. As I gently placed you to sit in front of me, I looked deeply into your face. There I noticed the scar on your right forehead, which hasn't stopped bleeding. I didn't realize that I was 4 years old when I slipped and fell, knocked my little forehead hard against the balcony ledge, and left a deep cut which required 12 stitches on my right forehead. As I touched your wound, I sensed how you have been feeling all this while. That you are broken and defective from inside out. That there is nothing adorable left in you anymore. You are just a broken child who will grow up to be a broken adult. You are left with this scar for all your life. It is irreparable. There is nothing to look forward to in life anymore. But dear one, do you know that you are everything to me? While you may feel like a broken and defective child, to me, you are a priceless and precious jewel in my heart. I will never trade you away for anything or anyone else. I will gladly protect and defend you at the cost of my life. To me, you are irreplaceable. I don't chant affirmations to you, to pretend to love you when I don't. Every word of affirmation that I say to you every day is a truthful representation of how much you value to me deep down. Dear child, I love you. You are loved. You are worthy. You are infinitely precious to me. You will always be loved and prioritized by me. I will protect you at the cost of my life. You are not broken. You mean the world to me. You are divine. I vow to be your father, mother, best friend, and guardian. I will not allow anyone to mess with you. It has been slightly more than a week since I have been reunited with you. Every morning, I look forward to connect with you and shower you with lots of love and affirmations. Every evening, I look forward to wrap my wings around you, to keep you safe and protected before I sleep. You no longer need to return to the dark, cold, dirty, and neglected basement of my heart. You are a part of me as much as I am a part of you. Together, we will explore the world and strive to be of service every day. I love you, my dearest child. I love you for your sweet, innocent love, kindness, and curiosity towards the world. I love you for your scar, pain, and sorrow that you have taken on even at such a young, tender age. Know that you will never be alone from now on. I will always be with you, and you can always count on me. With all my love, Asha. Masters, is there anything you would like to share with us? Dearest children, inner child experiences can be deeply traumatizing for most of us because it is where we unknowingly took on a lot of societal programming, family conditioning, or false beliefs, and cling on to them as the truth. It is also where many of us took on feelings of inferiority, unworthiness, fear, and sadness from others or the outside world. We acknowledge that it takes great efforts, commitment, and perseverance to work through, heal, and reconcile the traumatic experiences of our inner children. To learn to see the positive learnings despite the ordeal. To learn to be our own greatest supporter instead of waiting for or relying upon an external party to make us feel complete. We are empowered to create new beginnings for ourselves. We can choose to unstuck ourselves from difficult or challenging situations, experiences, and emotions. Nothing is impossible. Here's to better days ahead. With love and blessings, Asha and Akashic Masters. If you would like to be guided to heal and reconcile your inner child wounds, you may consider signing up for a themed Akashic Light reading and healing session with me, centering on deep healing of past and present issues afflicting the soul. Note that each Akashic Records session is unique, customized for your needs, and guided by your Akashic Masters throughout the session. Check out my website for more details. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at asha-akashicrecords.com. Till next time, take care.